Life without purpose can be so exhausting and discouraging. Life that is void of meaning and life that is lived only for oneself can feel so empty and depressing. However, on the other side, trying to discover what your life's purpose is can feel extremely overwhelming. So, today we're going to solve both of these problems by going to the angels and getting their wonderful counsel on how you can discover your life purpose. Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Marsha Martin, the heart healer with the Heart Healing Foundation, and I am delighted that you are here with us today. Hello, my beautiful Evan. And just as Evan wrote in the chat, I want to encourage all of you to put in your comments in the chat, to ask questions, to make sure that you really understand, because this is so valuable. Feeling as though you're trying to live a life that is meaningless or that you are somehow insignificant or meaningless is very exhausting. So make sure that you really understand what the angels are sharing with you. Oh, thank you, Evan. Evan says he's super happy to receive the wisdom. And it is so important that each one of you know how valuable you are. There is no one on this planet that is insignificant. So please begin with that understanding. But let's dive right into what is purpose. Well, first of all, let's go to the dictionary. So we are absolutely certain that we are speaking the same language. Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So, from the dictionary, we know that purpose is essential, but at the same time, you can see why you might have been overwhelmed when you were trying to discover your purpose. So, let's take the overwhelm out and keep the essential in. So, what I often find when people come to me and they are really wanting to make a contribution, they say, well, I just can't figure out my purpose. And then the thing that almost always follows that is, what if I don't have one? So let's take a deep breath and get some understanding right now. First of all, everyone has a purpose. It is not possible for you to be in a physical body with no purpose. Secondly, no purpose is insignificant. So, you have a purpose. Your purpose is worthwhile. It is valuable. It is necessary. It is essential. And it is going to bring something necessary, meaningful to the planet. What we can't guarantee is that your purpose is necessarily going to change the world. If you are looking to uh, change the world tomorrow, that is probably your ego talking and not your purpose. Your purpose is for you and for your own growth and for your own transformation, but it also brings benefit to everyone in the world that's in the world with you at the time. Now, we got to remember that we get benefit from both positive and negative circumstances. So let's just be open to all of the ways that we can serve and all of the ways in which we can give value to the world. So, that I sort of jumped ahead of myself here. The next question I usually get from people is, doesn't my purpose have to be grand in order to be worthwhile? What if I just want to be a homemaker or be a teacher or be someone who works in the grocery store that may just be stocking the shelves, or perhaps a garbage collector? Why would we think that these things may be purposes to which we should aspire to? Well, we have to unhook the purpose from the job. You can have and will have probably many different jobs throughout your life, but your purpose is this thing within you that only you represent. So everyone is essential in the work that they do, even if that work seems to be very insignificant. You are helping something or someone because you have chosen to do this work. And a good example of that is really the sanitation engineers. If all of the garbage collection stopped tomorrow, not only would we live in a stinking pile of filth and refuse, but very quickly, most of us would become sick. And if the garbage kept piling up, we wouldn't be able to get out onto the street to get to a hospital to get care. And if the hospital's garbage wasn't picked up, well, then they would become overwhelmed with their own garbage. So you see, everything that you do can benefit someone else and benefit you. But your purpose is for you to understand how to bring that which is unique to you into the world in some way. And so let's just use the example again. I'm choosing to be a sanitation engineer. I can choose to be a really grouchy, unhappy person. I can say to myself, well, I hate the smell of garbage and I'm really angry that this is the job that I've ended up with. And then I am going to live a life that is dismal, that feels discouraging, that everywhere I look, something is wrong or something else hurts or something else makes me feel badly. Or I can look around and say, hey, isn't it great that I get to be outside? I love to breathe in the air, to see all of the flowers and the different birds and the scenery, the nature. And I love architecture. I'm a student of architecture. And well, I get to be outside really looking at these buildings and the way they've been built. And oftentimes I get a chance to interact with people who are so grateful for my service. And it really makes me feel good. Then I have taken me, the essence that is me, and I have shared that in a positive, loving way and helped others really gain value from me being in the world. So the purpose in this case is not necessarily the job that you're doing, but in this way, it would be the way in which you are choosing to do the job. Because if you're holding a high vibration, then you are encouraging all these people that you are interacting with to also hold that high vibration. And you will notice, I find it especially true in the grocery stores. I go to different grocery stores and I can tell which store I'm in just by the vibration of the employees. There are certain stores where everybody is happy and helpful. There are other stores where the people just look sad. And there's another store where they're not necessarily sad, but they're sort of robotic. They're just kind of in there doing their work, probably not spending a lot of time meditating when they get home. And it's amazing to see what a kind word and a smile can do in any of these places. So, no matter where you go, you have the option to bring you with you. And if you bring the best version of yourself into every experience that you encounter, then you are going to be responsible for lifting the vibration of that space that you are sharing with others. Now, the other people, of course, have the choice. They can stay miserable or they can join you in your high place. But just remember that your first and most significant purpose, and this is true for everyone, is to raise the vibration, the communal vibration. You begin with yourself. Allow yourself to really get in alignment with the divine and begin holding that energy and frequency of love. And then you carry that vibration with you wherever you go, whatever you are doing. And now you are achieving one of your purposes, which is to raise the vibration. However, we want to look at how you can find your purpose. So you'll feel that your life is really meaningful and rich. And I find that when our purpose and our work align, it really feels great. You really feel that you've kind of locked in on your reason for being. And it does require divine alignment. Whenever you are in alignment, more and more of your life will line up until there is nothing that is outside that column of love that connects you to the divine. So let's get you to that place and begin by understanding that purpose is soul work, and soul work is necessary because remember, it brings benefit to all. It causes you to expand. Now, when you are in alignment with the divine, when you are doing the work of the divine, there is nothing that you can be doing that you will not get benefit from. There is no give if you are working in service to the divine. There is give and receive, give and receive. It is constant. You cannot outgive God. It is impossible. So open your heart to receive as you are doing this work of raising your vibration. It is divinely ordered. This soul work also makes it possible for you to have an impact on the planet. You are changing world health, whether you are sitting in your room meditating by yourself or you're out speaking at um, events around the world. You are still positively impacting world health when you do this soul work. It also encourages betterment, unity, and cooperation. Soul work is never going to say to you, well, you're as good as you're going to get. It's always going to allow you to grow and to expand and to become more because there's no end to all that you can become. It encourages unity because the more that you expand, the more that you see that we are all one and there is no separation. And the more excited you will be to welcome everyone in because you know that will help you rise even further. And it encourages cooperation, especially now that we have moved into the age of Aquarius, which is the cooperative energy instead of competition. You don't need to climb the ladder by stepping on those people who are behind you. Instead, you realize you will climb your ladder faster if you help others climb behind you or with you or beside you. So it encourages a whole different way of being. And purpose is the overall theme of your life. If you look, no matter where you are, what jobs you may have had, where you may have lived, what experiences you may have had, what changes you may have made, you are going to notice that there are particular themes in your life that will just come with you throughout. It's if you are living in the southern hemisphere, that theme will be with you. If you are living in the northern hemisphere, that theme will be with you. It is your thing. And Evan says, I was just discussing this with someone. We all impact people just by being in their presence. Oh my God. Just walk into these grocery stores that are negative, and it's like being hit with a fire hose of. So let me tell you, yes, you positively affect people by being with them. What's it? Our own, what's that? can I, Taurus donut energy? Oh, yes. We have this auric field. He's calling it the Taurus donut energy. That's about 3 feet in width. So, and as you rise even higher, your energy can spread out even further. But our general force field is about 3 feet. So when you're within 3 feet of someone, you are picking up what they are feeling, how they are navigating their life, their depression, their exhilaration. Whew. And they can really do a number on you if you are not in alignment. Especially, let's remember, and we're going to step out of purpose for just a minute, but I'll tie it back in. But if you are not in alignment, if you're not meditating on a regular basis, if you are not really spending time understanding what it feels like to be heart connected to the divine, you are going to be much more vulnerable to these lower negative energies that are circulating in the world. And remember, you are one, and sometimes the negative energies can be many. So if you think you can walk into a negative environment and you're kind of wobbling around because you haven't been meditating regularly, then and then you're surprised that you got sucked into their negativity. Well, it's because you didn't get yourself prepared. If you want to hold that positive frequency, you must get in alignment. And because one of your purposes as an awakened being is to spread love out into the world, you must continuously commune with the divine so that you can go out into spaces that are overwhelmingly negative and not be pulled in to their negativity, so that you can hold your own sense of peace and of joy and love and encourage them to climb up to where you are, rather than feeling like you're being sucked into a vacuum of their negativity. When you are going in out in public, you are more likely to experience more negative people than more positive people, just because that's the construct of society. I hope it's changing, and I believe that it is going to change. But for now, negative probably outweighs positive. Positive is more powerful, but negative is more numerous. So if you go in as a wobbly positive, they're going to be able to suck you in. However, if you go in as a highly aligned and attuned being that is radiating love, you're going to encourage them to lift right up. You're going to encourage them to be where you are. So remember, we all have that one purpose of spreading love out into the world. Now, you also have your individual purposes. But as I said before, purpose is that overall theme of your life. It's the thing that no matter who you are, where you are, what you've been doing, you're going to see this thread throughout your life. If you look back on your choices as a being, and by this I mean not, oh, what am I going to wear today, but over and over, the things that you have chosen because they call to you, then you'll experience your preferences. And the pattern that begins to emerge there is the beginning of sort of the outline of your purpose. You'll just see again and again and again, I made a choice to go in this direction. Oh, I'm getting the outline of my purpose. And we have to remember too that all of these choices that you keep making over and over and over again have gotten more and more enlightened as you continued making them, because you feel more and more in alignment with them. And because they're so practiced, they will have come with a set of tools that perhaps you didn't use well in the beginning of your life, But after making a decision to be empathetic and to be empathetic and to be empathetic, you are so well versed in the idea of empathy that it comes naturally to you. So, empathy may be the outline of your purpose. Not always, but just look back on your life. Have you chosen to be kind or cruel? Those would be the kind of things that you would be looking for. And let's remember that your tools are your helpers. Now, no one has arrived on the planet without a purpose, without a connection to the divine, with no tools, and missing the things that are necessary for them to fulfill their purpose. Everything has been provided. It does require that you unpack these things and learn how to use them, but you have come complete with everything you need. So Evan says, oh, I keep seeing things that remind me of a reference to the thing I'm interested in. That, yes, yes. If you keep getting poked again and again and again with something that is just like, oh, it's here again, it's here again, it's here again, it's here again. Dive deep. Start asking questions. Start deciding whether this really feels good to you. It is definitely a lot of poking and prodding, because oftentimes we will get the download, but we won't interpret it correctly. So there's a little bit of trial and error that comes into it. But for myself, I always was very intuitive. I was always in sort of teacher mode. I had an early career as a teacher, then other various teacher in a classroom, and then other various sort of writing, teaching, educating kind of things. And always underneath that was counseling. Always people coming to me and saying, what do you think about this? Or so it wasn't a surprise when this all unveiled for me. I could see that throughout my life, these were constant things that had never shifted, no matter what job I ended up getting. I would bring those elements with me into that job. Even though the job might not have had the label teacher or counselor, I would bring those elements into the job because they were just so fused with me. So, back to our tools. They are going to be your strengths. They're going to move you ahead. Now, remember, strengths are things you do well, but also things that you like to do. They will also be composed of your weaknesses. Why would we need weaknesses? Weaknesses are great stumbling blocks. They help fill out the you that is you. They help make you more. So you don't want to be all strengths and no weaknesses, because then you wouldn't keep growing. You want a few of these little weaknesses sprinkled in. And you don't want to give in to your weaknesses. So you keep making new strengths. And as you make new strengths, you have other areas that pop up that show you, hey, we've got a little weakness over here we could handle. Your tools and your that help you on your life purpose, as I said before, likes. You're got to like it. If you hate what it is that you are seeing over and over and over again as a theme, you need to do some heart work. This is something, a challenge that you've brought to overcome. So the tools you're going to like, and they're going to be your strengths. The weaknesses and the dislikes are just there to help you expand. So, and the dislikes uh, also could be potential red flags for you. So, let's say, even though I was teacher, 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 teacher constantly, I hated teaching. I hated sharing information. I hated inspiring people and motivating people. I just thought it was an abomination. well, that would be a red flag for me. That would be me, hey, girl, you really need to go do some work. You've got some real serious limitations going on here that are preventing you from really feeling joy. So we don't dismiss our weaknesses and our dislikes. We strengthen them and we understand them and we clear them if we find that they are between us and the goal. And Evan says music. Yes. And Evan, let's remember you are extremely musical. You are so good at instruments. It's really incomprehensible that this isn't going to be somewhere in your life purpose because it is so easy for you. And that's something else, that goes in the like and the strengths category. If it's easy, come on, guys. Why are we trying to toss that away to do something hard? God doesn't stack the deck against you, they stack the deck in your favor. So if something is easy and you enjoy doing it, do more of that. You have found good things for you. Now, from within the pieces that you have brought with you, you're going to discover, it's like a little puzzle. You're going to discover what is really going to work for you. Now, the other thing you need to remember is that your purpose is going to be much larger than you believe that you're capable of doing in the world. So you think you should just open a sandwich shop. And the divines see that you have such an affinity for sandwiches and for healthy food and for raising the vibration that they actually want you to create a chain of sandwich shops across the world because your food is so healing. Don't be surprised if the purpose they hand you feels like never in a million lifetimes would you be able to handle it. Just get going and allow that which you need to be brought forth to you as you need it. Yes, Evan. Aren't we all working on getting out of our own way? Yes. So the pattern of where you fit is alliance with your divinity. You're going to feel your best. You're going to feel your strongest. You're going to feel your most competent. You're going to feel the most joy when you are aligned with the divine, because that means that you are your most powerful self and you are living the desires or the life that you had most crafted for yourself when you were pre-physical. So it's going to be things you want to complete. Now, let's get a little clear on karma, because I think we're getting it mixed up. I'm hearing a lot of times when people are saying things, and I think they mean well, but it's quite cruel and quite dishonest. So let's say that in a previous life, I was a thief and I stole from everyone. And I stole just because I liked stealing. And I had absolutely no remorse. You might say that if I come into this life and then I have no hands, that would be a karmic payback. But you see, what you don't understand is that God is not punitive. And God doesn't think that it's amusing for you to have to receive payback. You get the consequences of your actions. So if having no hands would feel like an appropriate consequence to me because I felt that I had not used my hands properly, then I may create a lifetime for myself where I didn't have the use of my hands. But I would not be being punished. I would be living out the consequences of my actions to determine what I should have done or what would have been a better choice for me. There's no punishment per se from God. There is just you wanting to finish whatever it is that you started. So please stop telling people if they have an illness or if they're having a difficult journey that it's karma for something that they've done wrong in another life. If the person decides they want to complete whatever journey they are on, they will devise a lifetime, or maybe design is a better word, a lifetime that gives them an experience beyond the one that they've just had. But they can also say, well, I think I've learned all that I need to learn, and I want to move beyond that. So let's let go of the ego's need to punish and step into alignment with the divine's desire to uplift. Let's learn to be uplifters instead of destroyers. I have just heard so many people just feel so almost cursed by these comments. And it's just not necessary. It's not kind and it's not truthful. So please understand that. Your life purpose is you building and building and building and building to a greater good. It is not you building to be punished, building to be punished. You are always expanding and growing in your knowledge. And if we feel that we want to more fully understand a scenario, then we may reincarnate with additional information or additional challenges that we want to overcome. But no matter what our decision may be, it is not God punishing us because we got it wrong the first time. We only experience the consequences of our actions, never punishment from the divine. And I know I've harped on that for a few minutes, but it's a hot button for me because on my end, when I hear people who are absolutely incredibly wonderful, loving people say they are being punished because they've been bad in another life and they deserve these horrible circumstances that they've been placed in, you would want to really make a bold statement too. So this is true for people who are victims of abuse, who come in with a disease or any other kind of traumatic situation. They were not bad in another life. You were not bad in another life. And if you were, it was for the consequence of learning what it felt like to be in that vibration. And in this life, you've chosen to experience another vibration. And the fact that you're here and awake and contributing to the well being of society means you've come a long way. You are amazing. And that's where you need to put your attention on all that you've accomplished. So, the child that is coming with a disease can come in with that disease for a variety of reasons. They may want to experience what it's like to have a very short life. They may want to experience what it's like to live with a disease. They may want to be a source that scientists can experiment on, a rare form of the disease, so that we can learn from that and move forward. They are not being punished for something they did in another life. Often, these beings that come in with very difficult challenges are some of the highest level beings in the energetic realm. So please be very careful who you point fingers at. Let's just leave it there. Now, How are we going to find this purpose? Well, first I told you, watch those patterns, watch those themes. Evan gave us the example of music. He is extremely talented with many different instruments, and that is showing him this is a direction that you need to look into further. And this is also where we have to make sure that we're not confusing life purpose with life lesson. Now, life lesson is also a theme, but it will be something that you want to overcome. So let's say, Evan, I'm going to use you as an example again. Let's say I come with this incredible musical talent, but I feel like I want to know what it's like to struggle with the instrument. So I give myself a broken hand or a broken wrist or something that makes it really difficult for me to persevere with the instrument because I've decided I want a really magnificent challenge. I want to see how much more I can push myself to be even more masterful than I have been in the past. So that would be a life lesson. Or if I felt that I abused my talent in a past life, I took advantage of it, or I didn't cherish it enough, I might put in a struggle or a challenge so that I could feel that I had worked through my inability to really honor this gift or honor my divine alignment. There are many reasons why we may want to challenge ourselves in a particular area, or we could just know that with a challenge comes greater growth. And so we put in the challenges in the thing that we love most dearly because we want the most growth in that particular field. And I see Evan says karma is good and bad. Dharma is the accumulation of the karma and puts in the place of after we add up the karma. Okay, but still, I think we got to be really, really careful because we've got too many people who mean well running around telling people who have experienced horrible trauma, you deserved that because you were bad in another life. Let us please stop that. God doesn't judge. God is unconditional love and acceptance. Can we please live our lives as the divine do instead of as the ego would like us to? So, life purpose is what you've brought to share. Life lessons can often help you strengthen your life purpose, but sometimes they are just growth orienters that may or may not really feed directly into your purpose. Everyone has a lesson and a purpose, and both of them can be fulfilled. There is no one on this planet that is going to leave here before their purpose has been fulfilled or that lesson has been overcome, unless they decide they just can't handle it anymore. There is no one that is taken too soon. There is no one that is left saying, oh, what the heck, God, I wasn't done. We have control over what we learn and how long we stay. It doesn't look like that to us because we're seeing with the eyes of the ego and through the physical experience. But you can say, whoa, I gave myself too much in this life. I got to get out of here. I can't do this. I'm overwhelmed. I'm so exhausted. And you will not be seen as a failure. You will be seen as getting another opportunity to come back and try it again, perhaps with less challenges, so that you can go a little bit further. Yes, Evan, you said that really well. No one else gets to judge whether what we did or the choices we made or the way we lived our life is right or wrong in this life or any other life. All we get to see is that the person is either moving through a period of extreme grace or extreme challenge. And if they're moving through a challenge and you're not, be the person that lifts them up. I'm saying, not saying do it for them, but please be the person that is lifting up others so that they can move through their challenge, and then they'll lift someone else up. Okay, I was wondering whether that was okay. Evans has an incredible, incredible life. And the love of his life was an incredible woman who, in my eyes and his eyes, certainly in our physical bodies, died too soon. However, when you speak with her in spirit, you understand that she achieved absolutely everything that she wanted to achieve, and then she was ready to transition, and that just makes her available to come again in another form when she is ready to step into an even greater purpose. So death always appears to come too soon when we love someone, but the person that is transitioning is leaving at the time that is right for them because they have fulfilled what they want to accomplish, and they need to, for whatever reason, release this physical container so they can acquire a new one. It is difficult to wrap our heads around that, and it may feel as though I'm not sympathetic. And I don't mean that. I know how challenging it can be without the ones you love not being in the physical form. However, life is eternal. And once you have decided that you've reached that pinnacle of completion, you may be so excited to return to heaven that you don't want to wait any longer. And it doesn't occur to you that those you love will not be coming right behind you, because in heaven, there is not this long drawn out period of separation. There's only joy. So you step into joy, and you're excited that those you've left behind also step into joy. And let's also understand that if you are the one remaining behind when a loved one passes, it is because you have agreed to this as part of your growth. Again, you are not being punished. You don't deserve this. You didn't do anything wrong, and you are not being punished. You agreed to let them go first for your own life challenges, for your own growth opportunities. And every one of you has the ability to connect with your loved ones through your energetic heart space. So no one needs to be cut off or feel alone or lost. Just work on clearing the heart space, and you will be able to communicate with your loved ones and feel them right there with you. It takes some energy, takes some getting used to. You're still going to miss them in the physical body, but you will recognize they are still with you. So let me see where I am. I get off on these tangents. Oh, so everyone has a purpose. Now, and a lesson. Now, the life lesson is the thing that you want to overcome. It's you left your previous life and you're reviewing and you're saying, you know what? I just don't feel like I have explored the depths of that particular issue. I want another opportunity to go further. Or maybe I didn't learn anything because I was so stuck for whatever reason. And I need another chance at that life lesson, because now I see that I was stuck, and I could have gotten so much further. So, with the life lessons, you need to stop fighting. Don't be the salmon swimming upstream. Be the fish that's going with the flow. Stop fighting the lesson. Instead, stop and say, whew, what is this trying to teach me? What is it that I'm needing to understand here? And if you don't understand the message that is delivered to you, ask for confirmation. Please don't begin the begging game of asking and asking and asking. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I feel so bad. Nobody's answering me. We are too wise for that. Understand if there is a communication problem, it's on your end and not theirs. So, okay, what are you trying to teach me? What is it that I need to know? That's all you need to say. Thank you for these answers can come from you after that. And then be on the lookout, be alert, look for ways in which they are communicating with you so that you can get the answer and move on. Get beyond that life lesson. If you find that you are in relationships that are one after the other abusive, whoa, hey, what's your life lesson? To love yourself. Stop getting out of ahead of yourself and looking for someone else to find you valuable. Get back into you, see the value within yourself, and then you will be able to attract others that can see you as valuable. There's always an answer, and they will always share it with you. They don't play games. They're not trying to hide the answer from you and hope that you're smart enough. They want to help you. But you have free will, so you can say, oh, I'm not going to listen to that answer. That's okay. You may not even get that answer in this life. You have unlimited chances. The deck is stacked, but in your favor. But the quickest way through a lesson is notice the pattern and say, what am I supposed to be learning here? This seems to be a very unpleasant repetition of the same thing. Evan says, let me say this, without her, and he's referring to his girlfriend, I personally would not be in the amazing space I'm in now. She woke up, wow, she woke up his power and divineness. As painful as it is to be without your partner, sometimes it's necessary for your growth. And you will have agreed to this pre-birth so that you're not being punished for being a bad person. Never, ever, ever. So you're going to stop fighting. You're going to acknowledge what is. If you refuse to look at what is, you're never going to see the way forward. And you're going to make sure. What in the world? I can't read my own writing here. Needs to. Oh, you have to get out of the way. Give it to the universe. Instead of insisting that you have to be in charge, just let it go. If you are fighting with something, if it keeps reoccurring, if you keep feeling weighed down by it, why are you holding on to it? Give it to God. Just let it go. Here, universe, take this. I don't understand what to do with it. But don't just give it away and leave a big empty hole. Give it away, take a breath, and then open to their love so that you are constantly renewing and restoring yourself. So, life purpose is going to be something that you offer. It's a role you can fill, and it will require your growth. It's always going to be something that you're naturally good at. And this can be physically good, mentally good, emotionally good. And usually it's a combination of all of them. And for example, a really good thing like this would be a nurse. Now, nurses and I share similar empathy, but I really dislike taking care of sick people. I would be a horrible nurse. I love educating. I love inspiring. I love motivating. This is my element. I love helping people step out of the darkness back into the light, releasing that old pain and trauma. but I really don't want to deal with you when you're sick. Okay, don't come over if you're sick. I'll be nice, but it's not my calling. So it's got to be something that you enjoy doing. You are going to share characteristics with other fields of expertise, but you're going to be more in alignment with one than you are with the others. Just again, don't force yourself through the keyhole. If you are an empathetic being and you think, well, nursing is the only profession where I can be empathic, and you try to force yourself through that keyhole and you hate every minute of it, drag yourself back out and say, I need to look bigger, broader, wider. I need to grow beyond this belief and see where I really would be able to do something that has value. Another example of this is someone who does house cleaning. If you are doing house cleaning because you couldn't find another job, you may do an adequate job. But I have known people who love to organize, love to tidy, never can sit or walk into a place without doing some sort of cleaning. If that's you, you are a magical being of house cleaning, and this is or any kind of cleaning, and this is your life purpose. And believe me, you are making the world better for a lot of people, especially those disorganized people that really could use your wonderful eye at creating order out of chaos and cleanliness out of just confusion. Because too often people will get overwhelmed and then not be able to move forward. And this is why and the way in which we will dovetail well together. Because the one that is overwhelmed and is causing chaos out of their overwhelm may be able to offer an incredibly valuable skill. Perhaps they're an artist and they have this just incredible talent as an artist, but they are just chaotic in their daily life. Well, it may be really wonderful if they can coordinate with somebody who is extremely organized, but can't color outside of the lines for whatever reason. And these two would complement each other beautifully. Also, let's remember with your life purpose, it's something that you're going to want to commit to. It is not going to be over tomorrow. So if you think, oh, I'll just do it for a minute and, I'll be a perfection masterpiece of fabulousness in the next day, you haven't found your life purpose. Maybe you found something that you wanted to do and good for you, but your life purpose will grow as you grow. You're never going to be able to outgrow it, and you're never going to be able to reach the depths of finality. It just keeps getting bigger because it's divinely orchestrated, and the divine just have no limits. So therefore your purpose will have no limits. It's going to constantly cause you to be improving, and as your purpose is going to be improving. So this may mean you'll need additional schooling, perhaps practice, coaching. Understand that if it's your life purpose, you probably will not be able to master it on your own. You'll need help from various sources, and you'll need to continuously learn about this thing because it's going to keep asking you to become more and more and more. So if you think, well, I have my life purpose and I have it in this little box and it's just going to stay here, you found maybe something the ego likes to do, but you haven't found your life purpose. It's always going to be forcing you to seek new information. It's going to feel like you're insatiable. You want to know more. You'll be very curious about this. How much further can I take this? What more can I do with this? And it is something that you will feel compelled to do. You'll often hear people say, Would you do this even if you're not being paid? And if your answer is, well, I can only do it from 9 to 5, it's probably not your life purpose. Your life purpose is going to pour forth from you, whether it's 9 in the morning or 9 at night. It doesn't matter what day it is. It's not going to take weekends off. It's just going to pour forth from you. It's not always going to be in a very organized fashion. So, in other words, let's say your life purpose, as Evan was mentioning, might be something around music. And perhaps you've landed a job in an orchestra and you have very specific times when you are performing. But there may be other times, just at family get togethers, or just you'll just feel this music welling up in you and you will feel the need to share it. Not because it's a public performance, but because it brings you something magnificent. And it will often feel as though it's welling up from within you instead of you looking at something outside of yourself and performing. It's not a performance if it's your life purpose, it's a pulling of information that you are sharing out with others. And it is something that you would feel bereft if you could not do it or have it. So I often say to my children who say, when are you going to retire? I'm like, I hope not soon, because I just can't imagine not sharing angelic information with others. The angels give me information constantly. They are continuously improving my life. And I get such joy out of sharing the information that I just can't imagine living my life in a monochromatic way with just kind of tucked in and not being able to overflow with their information and share love and joy with others. So, whether I'm doing it as a job or just walking through wherever, I am going to share this incredible gift that the angels have shared with me and share this love that God shares with me wherever I am or whatever I'm doing, not because I have to, but because I desire to. So it's not the thing or the procedure, it's the pursuit of the knowledge and then sharing that knowledge or that creativity or that gift or whatever it is that is pulling you forth. And when it's purpose, it's always going to be that feeling, the thing that feels right. Think of it as a puzzle. You've got all these pieces spread out on the table. And when you look at the themes or the patterns of your life, you've got a piece in there. When you start looking at things you do well, things that you would do automatically, things that just seem to come out of you from nowhere, you're filling in the puzzle. And when the puzzle is complete, you are understanding this is your purpose. And as I said before, it will feel too big to be accomplished. They always give you your life purpose at a time when you're starting to emerge from your shell. You're not out of it yet. And you can't imagine much more than a few inches in front of your nose because just getting there feels like a really big journey. And then they'll drop this purpose on you, and you'll be like, are you crazy? you, you need to find someone else. If you find yourself having those kinds of conversations, you are absolutely in alignment with your purpose. But don't worry, it doesn't need to be fulfilled tomorrow. This purpose could take lifetimes for you to complete, but it is just an indication of the divine's belief in you and your ability to grow. So, It is going to be bigger than you. It is going to be necessary, bring lasting change, and it is also going to create a better world. There are no small purposes, they always have a global effect, and you are not going to be the only person interacting with this particular purpose. You'll bring your lane to the global change, but you will be working alongside others who are wanting to do this same thing. Why you become essential is because you have information and ways of being that only you can be, just as they have ways of being that only they can be. But we're working together for the creation of a better world. So, purpose equals growth and requires divine guidance. Just know you're not going to be able to do this on your own. It feels too big for a reason because it is. It's too big for one person. It's too big for you if you were not to align with the divine. And it's too big unless you have continual guidance. So just know your purpose is going to require growth. And growth includes challenges, but growth also gives you the opportunity to be even more connected and aligned with the divine. So, welcome the challenge, welcome the growth, and start really looking for those patterns that keep repeating, those skills that you have, those strengths that you have that are indicating this would be a very valuable area for me because I already excel at it and I like it, and I just feel compelled to do it. Now, for today, we have 3 helpers that are going to assist you on this life purpose treasure hunt. They are Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Shemuel. So, beginning with Archangel Zadkiel, who is the righteousness of God, he helps infuse the world with a deep sense of divine perfection. So just imagine that when you call on Archangel Zadkiel, you and everyone in the world are being infused with this understanding that the world is perfect, that there is divine perfection overseeing the whole thing. When we are able to really align with divine perfection, we can let go more easily of the illusion of what is wrong. Then we start seeing this new world of love that we are creating, and we become so much more successful at creating it because we've got that divine vision, that divine sense of perfection holding us in the right place. And then Uriel, the fire of God. Gosh, what is more beneficial than a little motivation to get you going on your purpose? So Uriel helps you fulfill divine will and find unusual creative solutions. So not only are you getting to fulfill your divine will, and let's understand there's ego will, which is more like our free will, and then there is divine will, which is our will maximized to the grandest percent, whatever that is. It is not you giving up the desires of your heart. It is you finally aligning with the energy that can bring the desires of your heart to you. So when you're out with ego will, and the ego is saying, you have to have this thing because that's what's going to make you a better person, you are not in alignment. When you are in the space of you and God merged in the divine alignment, that is you in alignment with your truth, your center point, you are going to be able to relax and say, I desire to do this because it brings me fulfillment. And fulfillment does include all of the money, food, clothing, shelter, all of the physical attributes that you may need. It doesn't include competition, um, feeling driven just to be driven. You may feel a powerful drive forward, but it will be a drive forward to accomplish something of great value as opposed to just get something because somebody else has it or take it away from someone else. So I know it feels sometimes as though I'm asking you to give up being you, but I'm just asking you to give up the part of you that the ego is holding within the illusion that says you're not perfect, and come into the place where you are so much more and you get to fulfill the desires of your heart. Now, that was Uriel. He's going to help you find those creative solutions. And boy, when you are in alignment and living your life purpose, it's always a creative solution. He's going to help you deepen your insights into life so that you can make decisions that are more impactful with less fallout, and to see the variety of futures before you make that choice that you're going to regret later. He'll let you see what the consequences of your choices are going to be, and then to make those choices based on love, but not romantic love where the ego's in charge, unconditional love where you can make a choice that will deliver the highest good for all, including yourself. So, for those of you who are empathic and have been in abusive relationships, it's going to eliminate the sacrifice you card from your playing deck. You know, not going to do that anymore. You're not going to say, oh, it's okay that they beat me up and spit on me and said horrible things about me and stole all my money. They weren't feeling good. You're going to say, I understand that you're in a tough place, other person, and I invite you to join me in my high place and live a really great life. But I am not going to demean myself or allow you to hurt me, because then we would just be two hurting people. You may join me here, but I will not allow you to pull me down to there. And our final helper, Archangel Samuel, he who seeks God. And it should be obvious right now that we want to seek that divine alignment, because this is where you're going to find your fulfillment. So Archangel Samuel is going to help you release your judgment and use your shortcomings to advantage. So instead of playing the blame and shame game that doesn't bring you anywhere that you want to go, you're going to be able to let go of that judgment, take a look at what happened with whatever didn't work the way that you wanted it to, and use it as a stepping stone. Use it to help you move forward. He is considered love on wings, so he's going to help you love and accept yourself. And he's also great at helping you establish a career. So, because life purpose often comes or becomes a career, Archangel Samuel is wonderful to help guide you into making it all come together, making it all fit into one seamless whole of joy instead of a whole bunch of bouncing pieces that feel overwhelming. Now, if you have loved today as much as I have, I invite you to join me. And here are all of the ways that you can join me. The first is you can join our Patreon group called My Heart's Desire, because it's going to teach you to get into alignment so that you can receive the desires of your heart. Or you can go to my website, mmhearthealer.com. I am giving away a free meditation and ebook for you. Make sure, though, that once you subscribe, you then oh, confirm your subscription so that you can get those freebies, or just join us on Facebook in the Facebook group Healing Hearts. But please don't feel that you're alone or that you have to do this by yourself without any guidance or direction. We are here to support you. And our latest offering is we are now offering Pay What You Can counseling. And this is to provide everyone counseling, even if you can pay nothing. We have gift programs that you can offer us a skill or a service or something else in exchange. Everyone has something of value to offer, even if it's not a large bank balance. So don't let money hold you back if you are ready to get the care. If you're ready to grow and to expand and to transform, then send me an email and make sure that we're just starting a new group. Get in that new group and get the help that you need so that your life can feel wonderful. So thanks everyone for being here. And if you have any questions about purpose, just, hey, put them in the comments and I will help you, because it's so fun to see you grow. The angels and I just have the best time watching everyone grow and become so strong on the inside that there's nothing in the world that can throw you off balance. All right, everyone, till next time, sending you lots of love. Bye.